Now, ABC 10 News special coverage of the governor recall vote.
There is just 1 hour left before polls close for the special recall election of Governor Gavin Newsom. All day, all around the county, many people who didn't vote early have cast their ballots. Good evening. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. Our team of reporters has been providing comprehensive coverage all day, and that continues tonight. Let's begin with our ABC 10 News anchor, Lindsay Pena, who is live at the Registrar of Voters office in Kearney Mesa with more on today's turnout. Lindsay.
Yeah, that's right, Steve and Kim, down to the wire now with less than an hour to go before the polls close. We're seeing preparations underway for that counting to then start, and we're going to show you that coming up at 11 o'clock tonight. Meanwhile, of course, Governor Gavin Newsom trying to hold on to his job. He is only the second governor in California history to be recalled. And if you'll remember, Governor Gray Davis was successfully recalled back in 2003. We actually had the chance to speak with Davis earlier today, and he talked a little bit about how it really comes down to the candidates on the other side that can make or break what happens in this race.
Arnold was a megastar in 2003. He was opening the third Terminator on a global tour in July. The film opened. August, he announced on the Tonight Show. And September 6th was the election. So my advice to any governors, if you can avoid it, don't run against Arnold Schwarzenegger or any action hero that's a global celebrity, because your life will be a lot better if you don't have them as an opponent.
Now, ABC 10 News reporter Rachel BIANCO has been following the voter turnout here locally in San Diego County, and she has a little bit more on that. Rachel.
Hi, Lindsay. Yeah, just an hour left, and we're beginning to see more of those last-minute voters show up. We're at the rec center here in North Claremont. This is one of more than 200 voting locations set up all across San Diego County, but the majority of people have already voted, and they did so by mail. Turnout was high, around 70%, which is incredibly high, especially for a special election. Election officials tell us nearly 80% of registered voters in the county are permanent vote by mail. Still, some say they like the tradition of voting in person on Election Day. Others say they trust it more. Most have strong feelings about whether Governor Newsom should keep his job.
His kids got to go to school while other people's kids didn't, and a lot of other reasons.
California is as blue a state as possible, and it's obviously a big ploy by the Republicans just to be a nuisance.
The first batch of results is expected shortly after the polls close around 8 o'clock, but the final unofficial election night results may not come in until around 1 o'clock this morning. Reporting live in Claremont, Rachel BIANCO, ABC 10 News.
Rachel, thank you.
All right, thank you, Rachel. And of course, we will be here at the Registrar of Voters as that counting process starts to happen, and we'll be live at 11, show you kind of some of behind the scenes action of how that all takes place. For now, we are live at the Registrar of Voters. Lindsay Pena, ABC 10 News. Steve and Kim.
We look forward to that. Thank you, Lindsay. In about an hour, we will get our first batch of returns from ballots cast early, and data shows twice as many Democrats voted early as Republicans. ABC 10 News anchor Derek Stahl is in the live center with the tools showing us the Democratic breakdown of the recall election so far. Derek?
Well, Kim, this is the statewide picture according to Political Data Inc. This is a firm that's used by campaigns, it's used by media organizations. They go in, they track the state's voter database so they can see who voted. They cannot see how they voted, but it gives you some important clues. The top line takeaway here is that 51% of the early ballots returned so far have been from registered Democrats. 4.8 million registered Democrats have returned ballots compared to about 2.48 million registered Republicans. That's where you get that 2-to-1 advantage for registered Democrats. However, the caveat is that these numbers do not include any of the vote from today, the in-person voting, and etc. The numbers that political strategists will be looking at very closely are right here: age and ethnicity. So far, about 2/3 of the vote have been returned by older adults, adults over 50, and about 2/3 of the vote, 67%, have been returned by white voters. These are groups that Republicans feel very strongly about. Overall, let's go back to this tab. Overall, 43% of registered voters have already cast a ballot. And if you compare that to past elections, that means the turnout levels we're expecting here are already better than in 2014, the 2014 gubernatorial election between Jerry Brown and Neil Kashkari. That was about 43%. We've already eclipsed that. In terms of 2020, the presidential general election, we're about 75% of the way there. So a pretty good turnout for this unusual special recall election. In the Live Center, I'm Derek Stahl, ABC 10 News.
Very good turnout. All right, thank you, Derek. The conservative group Reform California will hold a viewing party tonight in support of recalling the governor. Our ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala is live in Escondido, where the event is expected to start after the polls close tonight. Mimi.
Hi, Steve. Yeah, we're in Escondido, right off of South Escondido Boulevard, where the group Reform California is hosting this event here tonight. The doors just opened a little bit ago. You could see people starting to trickle in, and in just about an hour and a half, more supporters are expected to be here. This is going to be the official Republican Party event in San Diego tonight. They'll be watching some of those initial results coming in. So Reform California is this large group that has been supporting these recall efforts. Over the last several days, volunteers have been going door to door, making phone calls and texting what Reform California says is a targeted list of more than 800,000 voters. Carl DeMaio, who's the chairman of the group, says they've used their massive grassroots movement statewide to contact voters one-on-one and encourage them to vote yes on the recall of Governor Gavin Newsom. So the group reports it's made more than 2 million voter contacts so far. And again, we're expecting reaction from people here to those initial ballot results tonight around 8:30 or so. We're also told that the San Diego Democrats decided not to have their own watch party, saying there was no reason to celebrate this recall election. Of course, as more people start to come in and we hear those speeches, we will bring that to you. For now, we're live in Escondido. Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Thank you, Mimi. So what happens next if Governor Newsom does get recalled? Well, the candidate with the most votes on the second question will win the election. County election officials have 30 days after the election to complete the official canvass. On the 38th day after the election, the Secretary of State will certify the results, and the new governor would take the oath of office. And they will serve the remainder of the term, which runs through January 2nd, 2023. The next California gubernatorial election still takes place on its regularly scheduled date of November 8th, 2022. Our
ABC 10 News reporter Laura ACEVEDO was also following Republican John Cox's campaign. Remember, he's local. She joins us live at an event for him in Rancho Santa Fe tonight. Laura.
Hi, Stephen. John Cox was out here a few hours ago. We've learned that he has gone back to his house where he plans on watching those returns come in. I spoke to him a few hours ago, and he tells me that he is feeling hopeful that California voters will pick him as the best candidate if there is, in fact, or the recall, in fact, is successful. Now, he thinks much of the state's problems are because of a lack of leadership and mismanagement from Governor Gavin Newsom. Cox was the runner-up to Newsom in the gubernatorial race in 2018. Now, if elected, Cox is calling for a 25% income tax reduction. He also talked about lowering the cost of living in our state and addressing homelessness. Cox's campaign has not been without controversy. He faced backlash and is dealing with a lawsuit for his use of a live bear during the campaign trail while he was here in San Diego County. Now, Cox, of course, is a local businessman, and he says his experience running a business is what's going to help him if he gets the chance to run the state.
I hope people look at the fact that I've got some level of experience and, management expertise that can address these problems. And that's really what these are. These are management issues that are fixable. They're not political.
So again, Cox is watching those returns at home and then plans on returning to this location here in Rancho Santa Fe, where he says he is going to speak to the media. We are told that he is waiting for those initial returns to come back at 8 p.m. and then he plans on heading back out here and expressing his reaction. Reporting live in Rancho Santa Fe, Laura ACEVEDO, ABC 10 News.
Laura, thank you. And we are breaking down some of the key issues in this race as well. There are clear differences between Governor Newsom and some of the candidates looking to replace him when it comes to COVID. The governor has been supportive of vaccine and mask mandates in different settings. Larry Elder says he would repeal any and all vaccine and mask requirements right away. John Cox says he is against lockdowns and vaccine mandates, but would allow school boards to decide whether masks should be required in their schools. Kevin Faulkner and Kevin Kiley do not support any type of vaccine or mask mandate. And Kevin Paprath, considered the top Democratic candidate, says every business and every school should have the right to set its own rules.
We want to take a look back at the recall efforts in our state's history. Since 1913, there have been 179 recall attempts of state elected officials. 11 recall efforts collected enough signatures to qualify for the ballot. Of those, the elected official was recalled 6 times. There have been 55 attempts to recall a California governor. It made the ballot just twice, in 2003 for Governor Gray Davis and this year with Governor Newsom. Davis was recalled and succeeded by Arnold Schwarzenegger. 10news.com is your source for complete coverage of the recall vote. The polls close at 8 p.m. We will have the early results streaming online as they come in, and you can watch and stay up to date through our 10 News app. You can stream it on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, as well as your phone.